Hi guys, this is James from DBG, and it's still my month of doing my own stuff. So I thought I'd build something that's been sitting in my cupboard for a very long time. What you're looking at is some Mark IV Space Marines, a Contempted Dreadnought, some Tartarus Terminators, and a kit-bashed chaplain from Betrayal at Calth. Obviously the Tartarus aren't from Betrayal at Calth. Now, those of you who've been with the channel for a very long time would know that I had a Iron Warriors 30k army that failed me miserably because they were rightly punishing me because I was never going to do Iron Warriors. I was going to do either Salamanders or Death Guard. Now, by the time I got around to do my army, Chris had already started doing Salamanders, and I didn't have enough time to paint Death Guard because of the colour scheme. So I thought I'll do a quick Legion, and in the end I painted roughly 2,500 points worth of Iron Warriors in 2.5 weeks because they're that easy to paint. I eventually built the army up to around 4,500 points, adding in Leviathans, Perturbo, Land Raiders, Vindicators, Rhinos, Special Siege, Terminators, Funky Robots. In the end, they all got sold because, you know, that's what happens. I get poor and I have to sell things. And then I found a copy of Betrayal at Calth really, really cheap on eBay. So I bought that. And I bought an extra set of Cataphracti Terminators because they were going to be Night Lords, because I love Night Lords. In the end, 8th edition came out and Heresy just dropped off the radar 100%. Something really odd just happened and my camera just cut out 100%. So as I was saying, one of the interesting things about Heresy is what happened on Istvan 3, which is when the loyalist half of 4 legions, that's Emperor's Children, Sons of Horus, World Eaters and Death Guard, all go down to Istvan 3 to reclaim it, because there was a rebellion, they're reclaiming it, and the other half stayed up as reinforcements in air quotes. What happened was they sent all the loyalist, or who they believed to be loyalist, down on the planet and kept all those loyal to Horus up in orbit, and then they were going to virus bomb. And what happens is there's this Emperor's Children captain called Saul Tarvitz, jumps in a Thunderhawk, shoots down to the surface, warns his legion, who then warn everyone else, and they all, just in the nick of time, find bunkers, places to shelter the virus bomb, which kills everything organic on the planet. Then they send some incendiary torpedoes down, which sends a firestorm, which incinerates everything on the entire planet. Then when that happens, the survivors come out. And then for months there's a rolling battle between the loyalist factions of those 4 legions and the traitor faction of those 4 legions. Unfortunately, well, in the whole thing, the traitor legions went out. But this guy here is my version of Saul Tarvitz. In the game, he is just a captain, so he's not particularly brilliant, but he's got lots of character. That's what I like about Heresy. There's lots of characters in there that bring out the feel of the Horus Heresy, especially if you've read the novels. And I've read roughly about half the novels, so I've still got quite a few to go. So basically this works out if we're using this guy as Saul Tarvitz, and this guy here is not just any Contempted Dreadnought. This is my version of Rylanor, the unyielding, basically a Emperor's Children captain who was so dearly loved. They put him in a dreadnought, and obviously he was unswervingly loyal to the Emperor, so he went down as well. So he's got some cool rules because he was like a beacon of hope for all the Emperor's children are still loyal to the Emperor. Anyway, so what we have, so I've gone on for a bit. So what we have here, apart from Saul Tarvitz and Rylanor, we have a squad of 10 Legion Tactical Marines. There is a sergeant with a power fist and bolt pistol. Everybody else has bolters, because this is Heresy. At the back there's another 10-man tactical squad. a sergeant with a power sword and a bolt pistol. Again, bolters. At the back there is a tactical support squad, and that's 9 guys with plasma guns and a sergeant with a combi plasma and a power fist. And then last but not least, we have a 10-man squad, or can be split into 2 5-man squads, but it's heresy, so I like to see these walls, these phalanxes of Terminators walking towards the enemy. So in there we have 2 Reaper autocannon and chain fist. We have a sergeant there who's got a combi bolter and a chain fist. 2 normal guys with combi bolter and chain fist, and then we've got 5 guys with lightning claws. Now those guys with lightning claws unfortunately will be the chaff. They will the ones be dying first, but they have lightning claws, and so they're going to be really good at cutting through standard Marines. They will struggle when they come up against anybody with a 2+ armour save. But that's why we have the other guys with chain fists. Ooh. So this whole army at the moment comes to 1,520 points. Bearing in mind that Heresy uses a sort of version of 7th edition. I have to try and remember how 7th edition works when we do this, because obviously Reichardt has his Imperial Fists. Chris, as I mentioned before, has his Salamanders. He also has a Alpha Legion force, which he's working on, which is going to be very cool. Because if you've read anything about Alpha Legion, they're very sneaky, and there's more to them than just being either chaos or not chaos. There's far more to them than that. Anyway, so this is, like I said, 1,520 points. I'm planning on taking this to 2,000 points and no more, because I think that roughly feels like a small beleaguered force of Emperor's children fighting their way through to their death, basically. But they do hold up Horus for months and months and months down on Isfahan 3. Anyway, so I've done a quick list, and the only 2 things I'm going to add are a Sakaran battle tank, which is very cool. It's going to have layers on the side, hull heavy bolter, and the accelerator autocannon, which are very good at taking out flyers, and there's bound to be lots of flyers. And a Land Raider, which I think can be very good for transporting the tactical support squad, so they can jump out and rapid fire plasma in people's faces, which will even make Terminators and even a Primarch's day quite horrible. Anyway, as usual, guys, check out our affiliates and sponsors. No, not sponsors, we don't have any sponsors yet. Check out our affiliates. Goblin Gaming and White Shot Gaming, links in the description. Check us out on social media. That's Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. Don't forget to like and subscribe and do all that YouTube stuff. Share it around, tell your friends. And as usual, from my dog who's barking in the background and me, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.